They can grow bigger than a grown man, weigh more than a grand piano, and vanish into the ocean with the power of a torpedo. These are giant groupers, some of the most mysterious and massive fish in our seas. But here's what most people don't know. Many of these ocean giants aren't caught in the wild anymore. They're farmed. Yes, raised carefully from tiny, fragile larvae into hulking fish worth thousands of dollars. Not for sport, not for science, but for food. Giant grouper meat is in high demand, especially in high-end seafood markets across Asia and beyond. But farming these giants isn't easy. It's a process that takes patience, precision, and years of careful handling. So how do farmers raise these underwater beasts? What do they eat? How are they harvested? And what are the risks behind the scenes? Stick around, because the journey from hatchery tank to dinner plate might just surprise you. Part 1. Set the stage. Why giant groupers are farmed. Giant groupers are some of the largest fish in the ocean. They can grow up to 8 feet long and weigh over 800 pounds. That's heavier than most motorcycles. These fish are found in warm tropical waters and are known for their firm, white meat, which is very popular in Asian countries like China, Thailand, and the Philippines. People love eating grouper because it tastes great and is rich in protein. But there's a problem. Wild groupers are being overfished. Too many are being caught, and their numbers are going down. That's where fish farming comes in. Farming giant groupers helps provide enough meat for the growing demand without hurting wild populations. It's a way to protect the species while still giving people the food they love. By raising groupers on farms, we also help keep ocean ecosystems healthy. It's a solution that supports both nature and people. That's why more and more farms are starting to raise these amazing fish. Part 2. Breeding giant groupers for meat. Breeding giant groupers is not as simple as letting fish swim together and hoping for the best. It takes careful planning and the right environment. Farmers start by selecting healthy male and female groupers known as broodstock. These are kept in special tanks where the water is clean, warm, and closely monitored. Everything from light levels to temperature is controlled to help the fish feel comfortable enough to breed. When the female groupers are ready, they release eggs, and the males fertilize them by releasing sperm into the water. These tiny eggs are then collected and moved into special tanks where they can safely hatch. Once they hatch, the baby fish, called larvae, are extremely small and fragile. At this stage, they need extra care. The water must be clean, and the food must be just right. Farmers feed them tiny live food to help them grow. With time and attention, these little larvae turn into strong juvenile groupers ready for the next stage. Part 3. Housing and raising giant groupers. Once the baby groupers grow big enough, they are moved to larger homes called grow-out pens. These pens are usually set up in the ocean, close to the shore, where the water is clean and flows naturally. The pens are made of strong nets that let water move in and out. This helps keep the water fresh and gives the groupers a space that feels like their natural home. Giant groupers need a lot of room to swim and grow. If they're too crowded, they can get sick or stressed. That's why farmers make sure each pen is big enough and not overfilled. The water quality is checked every day. If the water gets dirty, it can harm the fish. Farmers also protect the groupers from predators like sharks or large birds. Netting around the pens keeps the groupers safe. With clean water, space to grow, and good protection, the groupers can stay healthy until they're big enough for harvest. Part 4. Feeding giant groupers. Feeding giant groupers is a key part of helping them grow strong and healthy. These fish are natural predators, which means they eat other animals in the ocean. In farms, their diet is made up of high-protein food, just like what they'd eat in the wild. This usually includes small fish like sardines or anchovies, as well as squid. Some farms also use special feed pellets made with fish meal, vitamins, and nutrients. Farmers have to be very careful with how much food they give. Too much food can pollute the water and make the fish sick. Too little food, and the groupers won't grow properly. Many farms now use automatic feeders that drop food at the right time and in the right amount. Some farms are also looking for better, more eco-friendly food options. They're testing feeds made from plants or insects to reduce pressure on wild fish populations. Feeding groupers well is not just about growth, it's about keeping the whole system healthy. Part 5. Harvesting and processing. Giant groupers. Harvesting giant groupers is a careful and gentle process. These fish are large and powerful, so they can easily be hurt if not handled properly. When they reach the right size, often after many months or even years, farmers prepare to harvest them. First, the groupers are slowly guided into nets and lifted out of the water using special equipment. This helps reduce stress and injury. Once out of the water, the fish are quickly stunned so they don't feel pain. Then they are humanely slaughtered. After that, the groupers are sent to a clean processing area where they are cleaned, gutted, and cut into fillets, steaks, or whole fish, depending on what customers want. The meat is packed in ice or vacuum sealed to keep it fresh. Then it's shipped to seafood markets, grocery stores, or restaurants. In some places, groupers are even sold live, especially in high-end seafood restaurants where freshness is very important. Every step is done with care to keep the meat high quality and safe to eat. Part 6. Environmental and ethical considerations. Farming giant groupers can help protect wild fish, but it also comes with some challenges. One major issue is the food they eat. Groupers are meat eaters, and they often need to eat small fish like sardines or anchovies. Catching large numbers of these small fish from the wild to feed farmed groupers can hurt ocean ecosystems. It creates pressure on other fish species and reduces food for wild predators. To solve this, some farms are trying new types of feed made from plants, insects, or leftover fish parts. These options are more sustainable and better for the environment. Another concern is disease. When many fish live close together, sickness can spread fast. That's why farmers give their groupers regular health checks and use vaccines or clean water to prevent illness. There's also the issue of space. Keeping giant fish in small pens can be stressful for them. Responsible farms give their groupers enough room to swim freely and grow naturally. Part 7. The global demand for grouper and market impact. The demand for grouper meat is growing fast, especially in countries like China, Japan, and the United States. As more people around the world enjoy seafood, giant groupers have become a sought-after fish. Their firm, white meat is used in many dishes, from sushi to grilled fillets. Because groupers are considered a luxury seafood, they're often served in high-end restaurants, making them even more popular. With this growing demand, the pressure on wild grouper populations has increased. Wild-caught groupers can't keep up with the high market needs, so farming these fish has become a critical solution. As more farms are built to raise giant groupers, they help meet this demand while reducing the strain on ocean ecosystems. This rise in farming not only supports the seafood industry, but also creates jobs in coastal communities. However, to keep this industry sustainable, it's essential to continue improving farming practices, ensuring a healthy balance between demand and environmental responsibility. If you found this video interesting and want to explore more about the world of fish farming and how food is produced, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Have any questions or thoughts on giant grouper farming? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.